right, hey guys, it's Super Bowl weekend. It's Saturday before the Super Bowl. My Patriots aren't actually in the Super Bowl this go around.
We'll never see this run again, Jim.
Brady's pass is intercepted and returned for a touchdown.
But that's okay. I wanted to talk about something like this week leading up to the Super Bowl. I don't care if you're not a football fan or if you are a football fan or not. The stories that you get to hear around the Super Bowl are great. You know, the stories of the coaches who've come up, the stories of the players who've come from, some of them come from some pretty crappy backgrounds, but now they are on the world stage. This is the World Championship of football, and I know for all our soccer fans out, all of my global football fans, they'll always joke that, you know, Barcelona and Real Madrid get way more spectators than the Super Bowl gets, but in North America we think it's like the biggest deal. But my point is this, that for a lot of athletes that I work with, you get to a point where you feel like you're the only one dealing with the problems that you're dealing with. Maybe it's like you're a little slow to develop, or you're having trouble mastering a certain thing, or you've run into a difficult coach or a difficult team. Whatever it may be, what you have to do at that point is basically upgrade your inputs. So I wrote about that in my book, in An Athlete's Guide to Winning in Sports and Life. I talk about upgrading your inputs. And so what are your inputs? Well, your inputs are either the voice in your head. That's like one of the biggest inputs you've got, because it's there all day, every day. Depending on who you talk to, you have between 50 and 70,000 thoughts a day, and most of them are negative.
Hey, Gilmore, you suck, you jackass.
Why don't you shut the hell up?
All right, so that's an input that you can upgrade. And I work a lot with my athletes on those particular skills. But other inputs are like, a big one's like music, right? A lot of people don't think of music too much. You know, they get into they listen to music, and the music might have a specific rhythm to it that they like, but the lyrics are just horrible.
But I'm weak, and what's wrong with that?
So if you're listening to music like that, there's a lot of kind of research and experience that kind of says that, listen, change your mode. I would much rather you listen to inspiring, like uplifting music that doesn't have any lyrics, than listening to something that has lyrics that are talking about, you know, some pretty nasty stuff, right? You know where I'm going with that. So music is another biggie. The other one is your friends and family, right? Now, family, obviously a little hard to kind of tweak than most, but if you've got family who love and care and really want you to reach your goals, you may be able to talk to them and say, hey, listen, I really need you to talk to me like this as we go forward, right? Or as, you know, you might have a big game and everybody's talking about the big game coming up, and you don't want to think like that. Teach them how to work with you. Your friends, a little bit different there, but you may have to kind of turn them off a little bit. You may have to create some distance, right? I know what's interesting about all these athletes that go to the Super Bowl, they all talk about how they get hit up from friends and some family that they haven't heard from for a really long time, who are looking for Super Bowl tickets. And you know, a lot of teams, what they do is they do a moratorium on like communication with anybody other than like your spouse or your parents or things like that, right? So you might have to distance yourself from your friends too, right? And the other input is basically what you watch like online or what you're watching right now. You know, hopefully this is inspiring to you. I'm here to help. I want you to see you know, make things happen. But you know, you might be lost in some sort of like crappy, you know, a binge watching, like what your mind is just in a cesspool. Get out of that, right? And so change your inputs so that you're shifting from, you know, all this stuff is drawing energy from you, and change it to things that are basically putting energy into you, right? And then you're going to have your best possible scenario. Now, you can do this in the short term. Sometimes it's easier in the short term to kind of have a really powerful excuse to upgrade your inputs, but you know what that can do for you too is gives you a taste of what it's like that, you know, maybe you've distanced yourself from a friend who hasn't been so supportive, or maybe it's a relative, or maybe even your parents, right? And parents will, surprisingly, they know, they're nervous too, right? So they want to see you reach your dreams, and they may not know the best, how best to help you, right? So whether it's music or anything else, just upgrade your inputs, and then what'll happen is that you'll realize, wow, was really good. It's almost like getting rid of a food that you know that's bad for you for a while. Just doing it in the short term gives you a taste of how good you may feel. And then what happens is you go down the road and you're like, wow, you know, I never really needed that to begin with. And so that can be really, really helpful. So upgrade your inputs. Listen, watch the Super Bowl. Go online. Maybe don't watch the game because sometimes the games can be pretty bad. Even as a Patriots fan who's watched like every Patriots Super Bowl, there's some games that are absolute duds and you're like, dude, we've been waiting for weeks for this like waste of a game. But if you can find some good stories, find some stories of athletes who maybe have it worse off than you, who are they're having success or persevered through it. There's always a good story to find to help inspire you. So do everything you can to up your kind of inputs with good stories. All right. Listen, if this helped you, right, leave me a comment below and be sure to share this with somebody. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I sure would appreciate it if you would subscribe. I'm going to be putting a lot of new videos out this coming year to help you. And if I can help you, if you want to be part of my coaching programs and things like that, then links will be below and all that stuff. But take this for now, use it, let me know how to help you, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.